In this video, I want to talk about the treatment of Staph aureus, and in particular focus on MRSA versus MSSA. Staph aureus is a gram-positive cocci that is found particularly on skin. And what makes it special is that it produces tons of beta-lactamases. These are these little enzymes that can destroy the beta-lactam. So we always knew that, and therefore we realized, well, we need to treat Staph aureus with an antibiotic that is beta-lactamase resistant. And what should come to your mind are beta-lactamase resistant penicillins, because penicillins obviously are very good against gram-positive bacteria. And the second generation penicillins were developed to treat Staph aureus, hence the name anti-staphylococcal penicillins. And these are things like oxacillin, dicloxacillin, and nafcillin. But first there was methicillin. This was the first second generation penicillin that was developed. But it's not anymore on the market right now. Now, because we have now this Staph aureus that makes beta-lactamases but can be treated with second generation penicillins, we call this Staph aureus MSSA, methicillin sensitive Staph aureus, because it's sensitive to methicillin or anything that followed methicillin like oxacillin, dicloxacillin, and nafcillin. And as an alternative, you could use any other penicillin that is beta-lactamase resistant. So we could, for example, take amoxicillin with clavulanic acid. So we use a third generation penicillin, but then add a beta-lactamase inhibitor on top of it. Remember, the kids go with a babysitter. Third and fourth generation are not beta-lactamase resistant on themselves. So you need to add another drug that refers to beta-lactamase resistance. But Staph aureus is also not stupid. So Staph aureus realized that we have now drugs that overcome this beta-lactamase issue. So Staph aureus came up with another plan, and this was the most deadliest plan because Staph aureus changed the PBPs, the penicillin binding proteins. And remember, the PBPs are the target of beta-lactam antibiotics. So if they are changed, any beta-lactam antibiotics is useless. And we call this changed penicillin binding proteins PBP2, and they are encoded on the MAC-A gene. So if you see lab results and they say the MAC-A gene is present, you know that you're dealing with a PBP2. So Staph aureus changed its PBPs. We call the Staph aureus that changed its PBPs methicillin resistant Staph aureus, because now Staph aureus has become resistant against these second generation penicillins. So how can we treat it now? Well, we can treat it with different classes of antibiotics that have nothing to do with recognizing the PBPs. And one very good example would be vancomycin, also a cell wall synthesis inhibitor, but is not dependent on PBPs. It has a different target. It looks for this D-ALA binding. Other examples how we can treat MRSA would be linezolid, daptomycin, tetracyclines, clindamycin, or trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole. So basically we need to get out of the beta-lactam antibiotics and need to find other antibiotics that have a good gram-positive coverage. The only drug from the beta-lactam group that we can use to treat MRSA is ceftaroline. This concludes the video on the treatment of MRSA and MSSA.